Naruto, God-level system author, Blue Water God. Chapter 276 Nawaki and Honza. Onogi, Ryosho, Chio, and Heilazang discuss how to destroy Namake's Minato. Attacked by 4 countries, Konoha was originally in a dead end, but now Konoha has been revitalized by Minato Namafing. Although Namake's Minato does not have the strength of one enemy, no one can stop him from attacking and destroying materials, and the materials can't keep up. How to fight? So Namake's Minato is the key to Konoha. As long as he can win Namake's Minato, Konoha will definitely have to lose the road in the end. If you want to kill Namake's Minato, unless his Flying Thunder God technique is banned, no matter how many people there are, you won't be able to kill him. Heilazang said with a sad face. Everyone was silent, and the technique of Flying Thunder God was indeed a bit perverted. Even the 4th generation Raikage who practiced ninjutsu and possessed the Dun Chakra mode was not as fast as Minato Namake's, and was eventually defeated by Minato Namake's. Actually, I contacted a betrayal, which may be of some help to us. Oh Yemu said after thinking for a while. Who? Chio asked curiously. The grandson of the ninja world, Senju Hashirama, Senju Roshu. Although he has become a traitor, will he really help us deal with Konoha? Heilazang asked suspiciously. Senju Roshu is the grandson of the first Hokage. Who knows if he will still have feelings for Konoha 22? Absolutely, because he and Konoha have an inseparable hatred, and the people of the Kaienzu family died because of the high-level Konoha. Onogi's eyes flashed with light. Then you can invite him, Liu Osha said with a pouted lip. Don't I ask him for money? Do you know how much it costs to hire an S-class traitor? Do you think others will work for you for nothing? Onogi asked a series of rhetorical questions, and Liu Osha's cheeks were flushed. Then what are you talking about? Liu Osha said angrily. He felt that Oyemi was just trying to embarrass him. Of course it's for you to prepare the money. Can't we make it out of our own pockets? Onogi looked at Liu Osha with the eyes of the idiot. Why did the Sand Ninja village choose such an idiot to become koi? Come out. How much do you need? Chio's mother-in-law asked. If the money is small, it's okay. If the money is too much, she is not taking advantage of the Sand Ninja village. After all, the Sand Ninja village is a famous pauper. Liu Osha can indeed make a pile of gold, but the world is different. In the Naruto world, gold is really not a valuable item, and it is not very valuable. Otherwise, the future Sand Ninja village will not choose to reduce the number of ninjas and take the elite route because of lack of money. If it sounds good, it is called the elite line. If it sounds bad, it is because they are poor and cannot afford to support so many ninjas. 50 million pils. Onama gestured with the number 5 with his hands. What? Why don't you go grab it? Liu Osha jumped up and said. In fact, 50 million pils is not much, but giving other people's money, even at level Ryosho, is also distressed. He is so stingy. Oyemi wants to leave the table and leave. 50 million pils is too much for you. Then you just go back to farming. What a fight. 50 million pils is okay. We can accept it. Chio nodded and glanced at Liu Osha dissatisfied. The more she looks at Liu Osha now, the more unpleasant she is. She is too petty, has no courage, and it is difficult to be useful. It's a pity that there aren't many talented people in Sand Ninja Village. Otherwise Chio will definitely replace Liu Osha's wind shadow. Okay. Onogi nodded, took the 50 million pils given by Sand Ninja Village, and gave out 50 million pils himself to hire Nawaki. Jiodu, I have a big job. Are you interested in cooperating with me? Shengsha patted Jiodu on the shoulder. That's right. Nawaki and Horn are mixed together. It is the Horn that is one of Akatsuki's undead duo. The corners are all rebels from Taki Ninja Village, who have secret skills to hold grudges, and can take other people's hearts and keep them in their own bodies to prolong their lifespan. Claimed to have played against the first Hokage, the actual situation is unknown. There are a total of 5 hearts on his body, and there are 5 chakra properties of thunder, wind, fire, earth, and water, which means that he can use all kinds of ninjutsu at will. As for the 2 attributes of yin and yang, the techniques that are generally related to these 2 types of chakra are basically secret techniques. This guy, Jiodu, loves money very much. He is a money-oriented person. He thinks that only money will not betray him. Accidentally met with Nawaki and learned that Nawaki is the grandson of the first Hokage, so he was very interested in Nawaki, and after a fierce battle, the 2 reluctantly became friends. How much? Jiodu asked neatly. 100 million pils. I can give you half of it afterwards, but the mission is very dangerous, and you have to participate in the Ninja World War. Nawaki explained the mission clearly. After Jiodu heard it, the originally green eyeballs became even greener, emitting a greedy light. Okay, I promise. Jiodu's eyes shone brightly. 50 million pils is not a small amount, and this mission is definitely more than 50 million pils. If the Nawaki invited him, he could go to Yanin Village and Sand Ninja Village to ask for money and eat double. The abacus in Kakuto's heart was beating loudly. You wait first, and I will notify you when the task is performed. Nawaki left in a hurry. He is going to find Rick Xiangchen now, and this time he may play against him at the same table. Namake's Minato, so he must ask Rick Xiangchen for help. Although Shengshu didn't know where Rick Xiangchen was, he could find Kushina and the others. Kushina and the others are very well known in the ninja world, and their movements are not secret. You can find out as soon as you ask. Nawaki, why are you here? Tsunade looked at Nawaki in surprise. I want to find that guy Chen, but if I can't find him, I can only find you. Shengshu spread his hands helplessly. Why are you looking for Chen? Jukes and I looked at the Nawaki vigilantly. Her fists had turned into lava, and she would hit him at any time. In Kushina's eyes, Nawaki is a homosexual, a pervert, and he must not be allowed to get close to Chen. What's the matter, Kushina? Did the Nawaki offend you? Tsunade asked curiously. Let me tell you. The Nawaki is a perverted homosexual, Kushina said loudly. What? Everyone was shocked. Frost appeared in Xiaonan's hand. Mikoto's writing will opened. Terumim was already forming the seal, and Hai Xianchen's apprentice Yu Ayuxian had put her hand on Moramame. Even Tsunade has a white mask in his hand. Even if he is his own younger brother, he can't grab a man from her. And it's much more serious than a woman coming and robbing her of a man. Shengshu was sweating coldly, trembling with fear from the murderous aura of the girls, and shouting in her heart, I'm not gay. I didn't expect you to be a perverted homosexual, Roshu, you'd better die. Tsunade raised his fist and was about to smash it down. Sister, I'm really not gay, I just asked Chen for help, Shengshu said with a sad face. What help? The women asked in unison. I want to ask if there is something that prohibits the use of space ninjutsu. I am useful, Shengshu said cautiously, for fear that the girls would attack him. This is for you, let's go. Tsunade threw him a scroll covered with mysterious spell marks, and then drove him away. Shengshu looked depressed. Is this really his sister? Why do you despise him? So sad. Can this prohibit the use of space ninjutsu? How to use it? Rouge asked. How to use it is written on it. Hurry up, I'll give you a ride if you don't leave. Tsunade said impatiently. Seeing that Tsunade had raised his fist, and the rope set up the horse to escape, he felt so depressed. It's so sad to treat his brother like this. Chapter 277 Uchiha Madara. At the end of the force, Shengshu asked you to ban empty scrolls? Xianchen looked puzzled. Well, I don't know what that guy is going to do. Tsunade nodded. Xianchen is also very puzzled, not knowing why Nawaki wants to ban empty scrolls. In the current ninja world, there are not many people who know space ninjutsu. Apart from them, Namafing Minato also knows space ninjutsu. Could it be that Joshua is going to find Minato Namikaze? It shouldn't be possible. Aren't these two good friends? Could it be because he knew that Minato Nagamo had Tomoko use Uzumaki, and then he hated him out of love? Hai Xianchen guessed. I think it's very possible. Kushina became interested. This guy is gay. It is absolutely possible that he did such a thing. Maybe he wanted to arrest Minato Namafing, and then TSK Minato Namikaze is so pitiful. Kushina didn't know what to think about. It wasn't a good thing anyway. I really didn't expect Nawaki to have such a hobby. Mikoto shook her head. Alas, I didn't expect that Nawaki would like a man. It's really disgusting to say it, and I really want to kill him now. Tsunade clenched his fist, looking like he was going to kill Nawaki's shameful younger brother. The corners of Xianchen's mouth twitched. He was just joking, making a joke. Shouldn't it be so exaggerated? Now that he is doing it, he also suspects that Shengshu is really gay, especially Tsunade. What did you look like to kill someone? Nawaki is really your own younger brother. Could it be that you picked it up? Xianchen groaned wildly in his heart. Teacher, you have to stay away from that kind of person. It's disgusting. Hongdu tugged at Xianchen's clothes. I will. Seeing the staring eyes of the girls, Xianchen hurriedly responded. Don't talk about the Nawaki guy. I heard that there is a clothing store in a small town not far away. Let's go and have a look, Kushina said. It's already night. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Xianchen retreated silently. He was not interested in shopping. It was a special mental exercise for him. Chen, where are you going? Xianchen turned his head and saw Mikoto's smiling face with a black belly. Xianchen's face suddenly collapsed. I'm afraid you are hungry, so I want to cook for you. Xianchen showed a reluctant smile. Really? The girls looked suspicious. Of course it's true. It's more true than real gold. Xianchen said while patting his chest. You don't need to cook. Prepare to accompany us tomorrow. If you dare to run again. I see. Xianchen lowered his head depressedly. Tomorrow is another tiring day, more tiring than going through a fierce battle. Seeing how they didn't buy them after talking about the price, Xianchen felt tired. Just tell me what clothes you want, and I'll make them for you with yin and yang. I really don't understand them. The next day, Xianchen did not escape, and was pulled by the girls like a walking corpse. Shopping with so many beauties with us, yet still so listless. I think you really deserve a beating. Jukes and I stared at Xianchen in dissatisfaction. Why, I'm very happy. Seeing their envious and jealous eyes, I have a strong sense of pride. Xianchen said quickly. Yeah. Kushina nodded in satisfaction. Humphrey, when I go back, let's see how I make you look good. Now it's fun for you to bully me. When I go back, I'll let you know who is the head of the family. Xianchen showed a malicious smile on the corner of his mouth. In the dark cave, Uchiha Obito opened his eyes, feeling the darkness around him, and felt a little uncomfortable. "Are you awake?" Uzumaki poked Obito with his hand. Obito let out a scream of slaughtering a pig. He just woke up and didn't feel anything, and now he feels extremely painful all over his body. After screaming for a while, Obito fainted. Madara Uchiha looked at Obito in the distance, showing a satisfied expression. "The cells that can be transplanted into Senju's humor will not die." "This guy is a bit different, Saban. Do you want to find this guy as a chess piece?" Byakuya asked. "There's no time for me to continue picking pieces, so let's choose him. He can be crushed half of his body without dying. This guy's vitality is quite tenacious." Uchiha Madara said lightly. "Byakuya, investigate everything about this guy, and don't let it go," Madara Uchiha ordered. Madara Uchiha glanced at the unconscious Obito, then closed his eyes, a trace of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. After he fought with Hinata Hamura last time, he was already at the end of his streak, and now he is breathing heavily on the vitality of the outsider golem. There was no time for him to squander, so after seeing Obito who was still breathing outside the cave, Madara Uchiha asked Uzumaki to save him and chose Obito to be his pawn. "Why are the two people here? Do you still buy one get one free?" Oyemu looked at Nawaki and Kakuto who were walking in the distance. "Are you Chuang Onogi?" Nawaki looked down at Onogi from a high position. It was true that Onogi was too short. "That's right, I'm Onogi who hired you. Who is this?" Onogi looked at Jiaodu, who was a little weird beside him. "Chuang, with me joining, should you mention the price?" Jiaodu asked in a deep voice. Shengshu glanced at Jiaodu in surprise, and didn't say much. It was Jiaodu's own business. "What ability do you have?" Onama looked at Jiaodu. He wasn't taking advantage of him. If this guy is really strong, Onama wouldn't mind spending a little more money. "My name is Jiaodu, and I once played against the first Hokage," Jiaodu said proudly. The matter of fighting against the first Hokage is enough for him to blow for a lifetime. "Jiaodu?" Onama's eyes narrowed. He had heard of Jiaodu, who was famous in the underground black market and a famous S-class rebel. 100 millions. Onogi stretched out a finger. Jiaodu grinned. "Deal." Jiaodu was already overjoyed, and he made 150 millions this time, which was a huge profit, but if he knew the price of Rick Xiangchen's ninja tools, he would probably cry. "I'll give you half of the deposit first, and then give you the other half." Oyemu asked someone to carry out 2 large wooden boxes. Jiaodu's eyes glowed with green light, and he took all the 2 boxes, opened them and counted them, and nodded in satisfaction. "After receiving the money, you have to do things for me. Otherwise, don't say the money in the back, even the money you received. You will also spit it out for me," Oyemu warned. He didn't feel bad about the money. Although 200 millions was more, it was nothing to the wealthy Dainin village. Oyemu was afraid that these 2 guys would take the money and finally do nothing. Oyemu also didn't want to be taken advantage of and give money away. "Don't worry, I won't let you down," Jiaodu assured. He was still thinking about the last payment. Naturally, he will do things seriously, otherwise the little money will run away. Chapter 278 Forbidden Scroll. Flying Thunder God Invalid. "You are the thousand-hand Nawaki?" Liu Osha glanced at Nawaki with disdain. In fact, many people in the major forbearance villages neither look down on betrayal nor look down on it. Liu Osha's a typical one. Looking at Shengshu and Jiaodu, there are 3 words despised on their faces. Jiaodu's eyes narrowed slightly, emitting a dangerous light, and Nawaki's face also showed badness, and the atmosphere was tense. Oyemu watched from the side. This has nothing to do with his rock ninja village, just watch the play. Even Onogi wanted them to fight, to see how strong Senju Roshu and Kakuto were, and whether it was worth the price. "Child Motu, you dare to grin at me? I heard that your 3 generations of Fenning disappeared for no reason. It's a waste." Jiaodu sneered. "Bump. Don't be too arrogant. Remember what this place is." Granny Chio slapped the table and stood up. "The disappearance of the 3 generations of Fenning is the shame of their Sand Ninja village, and now the corners have spoken out, which is equivalent to uncovering the scars of Sand Ninja village, and then sprinkle salt on it." Jiaodu didn't speak again, but gave Chio a deep look. There are ninjas from Sand Ninja village everywhere, and Jiaodu is not stupid, and he doesn't want to feel uncomfortable. Although Jiao is not afraid of these people, even if the ninjas of Sand Ninja village attack him, he is confident to leave, but such things that are not beneficial, Jiao will not do. 610. Chio pulled Liu Osha and asked him to sit down. "Why do you have nothing to do at this time?" "Tomorrow, we need you to block the 2 shadow-level characters on the opposite side, right?" Hailazang looked at the corner and the Nawaki. "No problem." Nawaki and Zhao looked at each other and nodded. At an altitude of several thousand meters, a chair floated eerily in the air, and Rick Xiangchen was sitting on the chair holding Lalaras. "I didn't expect Nawaki to get together with the poor guy Jiaodu." From Rick Xiangchen's point of view, this guy Jiaodu is very sad. He is a person who loves money. He has lived for so long, and he has earned an unknown amount of money. In the end, all Xionin bought the explosive charm. After a roar, the hard work of most of his life, reluctance to eat, reluctant to wear the accumulated money, eventually turned into nothing. Fortunately, Jiaodu died at that time. Otherwise Jiaodu would have to buy a noodle to hang himself. He came here because he was curious about what the Nawaki was doing, and now he probably knew it, and he didn't stay here any longer. After all, it's quite cold in the sky, although Rixianchan can't feel anything, but Lalu Lassie can't stand it, and now she is shivering in Rixianchan's arms. Rubbing Lalu Lassie's little head, Rixianchan's figure disappeared instantly. After Rixianchan disappeared, the chair that was floating in the sky fell down and smashed directly into Sand Ninja's troops, startling Sand Ninja, thinking that there was an enemy attack. Early the next morning, Sand Ninja and Iwa Ninja gathered their entire army. This was the last attack they prepared. If they couldn't take Konoha, they would have to prepare for the retreat. If they won, it would be another matter. Don't look at Konoha fighting for, it seems to be very difficult. In fact, Sand Ninja Village and Iwa Ninja Village are not easy. During the Second Ninja World War, Xianchan killed nearly half of the ninjas in their village alone, and now they have not recovered. In this Ninja World War, the supplies were destroyed several times by Minato Namikaze, and their national strength could no longer withstand long-term battles. In particular, Sand Ninja Village was almost poor. If it wasn't for Yam Ninja Village to support them, they would have packed up and went home now. You must also understand that we can't afford to delay. This time we win the battle, and all the losses will be made up. Onogi finished and launched an attack with Yan Ninja. Sand Shinobi and Iwa Shinobi split into two teams and attacked Konoha. Sarutobi Hizen got the news. His face was full of sadness, his hair was almost white, and his figure was more than 10 years old. Old man, don't sigh. Get ready to fight. This is the time when you need to cheer up. Zai also persuaded beside him. Don't worry, Hokage-sama, we Konoha will win. Minato Namikaze said firmly. I don't know why, but I always have a bad feeling. I hope. Sarutobi Hizen put on his battle suit and his face became solemn. Okimaru, Jiraiya, you lead 2,000 ninjas to stop Sand Shinobi. I will take Minato and the rest of the ninjas to resist Iwa Shinobi. Sarutobi Hizen ordered. On the Iwa Ninja battlefield, Konoha Ninja and Iwa Ninja stood opposite each other, and the chilling momentum filled the air. Senju Roshu, why are you here? Hiruzen Sarutobi frowned. Why can't I be here? Let's die. Nozu didn't say a word, and rushed directly to Hiruzen Sarutobi. Pulling out the ninja sword behind him, he slashed at Hiru Sarutobi. Spirituality Ape Demon, turning the monkey demon into the King Kong Ruai stick, blocking the ninja sword chop down by the Nawaki, and the powerful force made Hiruzen Sarutobi go back a dozen steps. Sarutobi Hizen's face sank. Nawaki's strength is much stronger than him. Hokage-sama, leave the Nawaki to me. Minato Namikaze stood in front of Hiruzen Sarutobi, holding kunai tightly in his hand. Minato, I didn't expect the day when we would become enemies. Nawaki withdrew the knife and looked at Minato Namikaze flatly. Why Nawaki, didn't you say you want to become Hokage? Didn't we make an agreement to work hard towards Hokage's position together? Namikaze Minato asked. You don't understand, standing in front of me now is my enemy, and you are no exception. Water escape hard vortex water blade. A whirlpool of water appeared in Roshu's hand, and the water condensed into the shape of a javelin, and threw it towards Minato Namikaze. That's the ninjutsu of the second generation Hokage. Minato, be careful. Sarutobi Hizen reminded. Remind others, you should take care of yourself first. Onogi sneered, and the rock fist smashed towards Sarutobi Hibiki. The four-tailed man Jinchuriki Lozi rushed into the Konoha army to kill, and no one could resist the four-tailed man Jinchuriki Lozi. Namikaze Minato used Flushin to avoid the hard vortex water blade of the Nawaki, and the water spout formed by the hard vortex water blade directly strangled more than a dozen Konoha ninjas. Nawaki. Namikaze Minato roared angrily, approaching the sacred tree instantly with the technique of Flying Thunder God, and then Spiral Maru hit Nawaki. Spiral pills. The spiral pill also appeared in Nawaki's hand, and the two spiral pills collided together. After a short stalemate, Nawaki was still superior and knocked Namikaze Minato flying out. Nawaki's strength has reached the peak of the shadow level, and he has a perfect fairy body. If Namikaze Minato doesn't use the technique of Flying Thunder God, he is not a match for Nawaki at all. Namikaze Minato took out dozens of kunai, and threw them at the Nawaki. Seeing this, Nawaki took out the forbidden scroll, entered chakra into it, and then the scroll disappeared directly, and the space fluctuated slightly. Namikaze Minato frowned. His instinct was not good, and when he wanted to activate the Flying Thunder God, he realized that he couldn't use the Flying Thunder God technique. Flying Thunder God has failed. Minato Namikaze could clearly sense the spell, but he was unable to travel through space. Chapter 279 Coming to the Moon. Kaguya Otsutsuki. What's going on? Minato Namikaze looked at Nawaki blankly. The forbidden scroll. You can prohibit space ninjutsu. Unless you can break this prohibition with a powerful force, you will never be able to use space ninjutsu. Nawaki said flatly. Of course. The Nawaki did not say that this scroll can only affect the range of 1,000 meters, and it only has 2 hours. Minato Namikaze showed a bitter smile, but he could only pick up the kunai, guarding against the Nawaki's attack. Judging from the fight just now, Minato Namikaze knew that without the Flying Thunder God technique, He might not be Roshu's opponent. In order not to let you affect me, you should fall down. Whirlwind kick. The high-speed kick blew up a whirlwind, heading straight for Minato. Minato Namikaze was horrified and could only barely use his arms to hold the Nawaki kick. The attack speed was too fast. Minato Namikaze could react with his mind, but his body speed couldn't keep up. Minato's physical skills are not bad, at least the general shadow level can't compare to him. But there is some gap compared to the Nawaki. If the two of them are compared, Roshu is an RMB player, and Minato Namikaze is a civilian player. After finally having a powerful skill, Roshu was banned by the RMB player. So Namikaze Minato was very hard pressed, and he didn't even have time to release his ninjutsu in the face of Nawaki's violent storm. Wow, look at this situation. Konoha is sure to lose. Kushina sat cross-legged on the top of the mountain in the distance. Indeed, Konoha will definitely lose if there is no accident. Tsunade nodded and looked at Naoki, who was fighting with Minato Namikaze in the distance. Can Nawaki beat that sissy Namafing Minato? Absolutely. You can't use the Flying Thunder God technique, but Minato has been cut in half. Let's go. This kind of battle is nothing to see. It's better to go back to sleep. Rixianchin yawned. Go on your own. We're going to see it here. Rixianchin shrugged and left alone. He really left. Jukes and I looked at Rixianchin's back, and couldn't help but be a little speechless. If you let you go, you really did. Don't you know that you are here to accompany us? As for the results of the third battle, Rixianchin was not interested in knowing. If nothing else, Konoha would win in the end. After staying in this world for more than 20 years, Rixianchin also discovered that as long as there are no irresistible factors, the plot will eventually return to the right track. As for why this happened, whether it was destined or not, Rixianchin didn't know or was interested in knowing. He just had to grasp his own destiny. Looking up at the sky, his sharp eyes seemed to pierce the sky. Reaching out his hand and shaking it, the space was like a piece of paper in front of Rixianchin, and was torn apart by Rixianchin, and then Rixianchin stepped into the space. When Rixianchin came out, he was already in a tattered ruin. Looking at the ruins, Rixianchin sighed slightly. This is the moon. When Hixianchin killed the moon, got a huge Tensogun, and destroyed Otsutsuki Yukon, it was a blast. Now that I think about it, Rixianchin is a little scared. At that time, he was indeed a little swollen. Fortunately, he didn't go to Otsutsuki Ui at that time, otherwise he would be hanged and beaten by Otsutsuki Ui. At that time, although Rixianchin's strength was strong, compared with Otsutsuki Ui, who had all his cards, there might still be some gaps. Rixianchin came to the moon, of course, not to miss the past. He is not a person immersed in the past. He came here to meet the ancestor of Chakra, the goddess of Mao, Kaguya Otsutsuki. Speaking of Kaguya Otsutsuki, this is also a hard-working character. He used yin and yang to create 3 sons. 2 of them betrayed her. One seems to be loyal. That guy is also mischievous. That's right. The 2 brothers Otsutsuki Yu were also created by Otsutsuki Kaguya using yin-yang escape. As for why Rixianchin knew, of course, Rixianchin checked the memory of the parallel world Otsutsuki Yu. The development of the parallel world and this world should be exactly the same. It is no surprise that the 2 brothers Otsutsuki Yu in this world were also created by yin and yang. However, Kaguya in the parallel world seems to have been killed by Rixianchin. When Rixianchin left, he wiped the moon with a residual fire sword. Although Kaguya is known to be immortal, but the divine tree has been swallowed into by Rixianchin. Can Kaguya be immortal? Unconsciously, it seems like I killed a girl. Rixianchin scratched his head, glancing at the moon. He also thought about finding Kaguya when he came last time, but he couldn't find where she was sealed. Now coming here again, Rixianchin can clearly perceive that there is a faint spatial fluctuation in the very center of the moon. Following this faint spatial fluctuation, Rixianchin broke the seal blocking him and came to a space. This place is very large, with green trees and flowers everywhere. The only flaw is that there is no life. Is this the space where Kaguya Otsutsuki was sealed? Rixianchin looked at everything around him curiously, and had to say that the scenery was still pretty good. It seems Kaguya Otsutsuki is quite comfortable here. Rixianchin said with a smile. Of course, Rixianchin is just a smile. Anyone who has been locked up here for over 1,000 years will not feel at ease. Where's Kaguya Otsutsuki? Rixianchin looked around, and soon saw a figure lying on the green ground in the distance. Rixianchin walked over and looked at Kaguya, who was lying on the ground, extremely quiet. Her crystal clear snow skin and jade skin flashed with an ivory-like halo, and her cheeks were even more beautiful. This hair is really long. Rixianchin complained as he looked at Kaguya Otsutsuki's hair that was definitely more than 2 meters long. Hey, woman. Rixianchin crouched down and poked Kaguya Otsutsuki in the face. Didn't wake up? Try pulling your ears. Rixianchin reached out and tugged at Otsutsuki Kaguya's head, the same thing as a rabbit's ear. Kaguya Otsutsuki opened his eyes, looked at Rixianchin in front of him, looked a little dazed, and blinked. Click. With a crisp sound, Kaguya Otsutsuki's head was suspected to be the stuff of rabbit ears, because Rixianchin used too much force, and a hole was opened. Rixianchin was stunned for a while, then he took his hand away embarrassedly, which was too weak. Death to me. After a long while, Kaguya Otsutsuki, who had reacted, slammed his fist at Rixiangchen. However, for Rixiangchen, this fist is a little weak. Kaguya Otsutsuki did not have a trace of chakra on her body at this time. When her chakra was sealed, it was already deprived by Otsutsuki. The chakra of the 10 tails is her chakra. Kaguya Otsutsuki is the real body of the 10 tails. She is the 10 tails, and the 10 tails are her. Without a trace of chakra, Kaguya Otsutsuki's physical strength will make it ticklish when he hits Rixiangchen. Of course, even if she regained all her strength, she would still have the same result against Rixiangchen. Chapter 280 The Weeping Otsutsuki. Kaguya, go a little to the left and slap me on the left shoulder, Rixiangchen said to Kaguya Otsutsuki, who kept punching, with a mocking smile on his face. Kaguya Otsutsuki stopped attacking. Her pure white eyes flashed with anger, and she really didn't pay attention to her at all. Why did you stop? Go on. Rixiangchen squinted and looked at Kaguya Otsutsuki in surprise, as if blaming her for stopping. Kaguya Otsutsuki looked at Rixiangchen vigilantly. Who are you? Why are you here? Come if you want. There are so many reasons. Rixiangchen lay on the ground and looked at the sky. Although it was only a small space, there were also blue sky and white clouds here. You decorated this place? Rixiangchen asked. He didn't believe that Otsutsuki sealed her and then created a beautiful environment for her. Humphrey. Kaguya Otsutsuki snorted coldly. She really decorated this place herself. In order to decorate this space, she exhausted the last trace of chakra left in her body. Did that idiot Yi send you in? Could it be that you want to see if your concubine is dead? Kaguya Otsutsuki said coldly. He didn't send me in. I came in myself. Rixiangchen shook his head slightly. Kaguya Otsutsuki didn't believe Rixiangchen's words at all. There was a layer of seal outside this space. Even if she couldn't break it, no one else could come in. At this time, Kaguya Otsutsuki forgot the incident that she attacked Rixiangchen before, but did not cause any damage to Rixiangchen. It can only be said that she was too forgetful. I have to say that Kaguya Otsutsuki is indeed a bit dumb, or she has a strong body and was sealed by her 2 sons, which is really shameful and thrown home. Do you hate Otsutsuki? Rixiangchen asked this nonsense. My concubine can't wait for them to die. It's obviously just 2 tools that I created. You dare to betray me? Kaguya Otsutsuki's face was hideous, like a ghost. Rixiangchen was taken aback. The quiet appearance of Kaguya Otsutsuki when he slept before was in stark contrast to his current appearance. Sister, calm down first. Do you know that when you are angry, this hideous look can scare the child to death? Rixiangchen said quickly. You're saying I'm ugly? Give me death. Kaguya Otsutsuki, who didn't have a long memory, threw his fist at Rixiangchen again. It seems that it is necessary for you to have a long memory. Rixiangchen reached out and grabbed Kaguya Otsutsuki's fist and said lightly. Caught by Rixiangchen, Kaguya Otsutsuki struggled hard. Hurry up and let go of the concubine, or the concubine will make you look good. Kaguya Otsutsuki threatened loudly. I admire you the most who dares to threaten others who have no trump card. It's you that Hungarian has no brains to say. Damn, you dare to insult your concubine, and when I regain my strength, I will definitely take revenge on you. Otsutsuki I was trembling with anger. Ha ha. Rixiangchen sneered twice. Clap clap clap. Harmonious popping. Kaguya Otsutsuki covered his and looked at Rixiangchen angrily. Are you still stubborn? My concubine will definitely kill you. Kaguya Otsutsuki roared through gritted teeth. Rixiangchen laughed, and the big slap fell again. This time, Kaguya Otsutsuki was much more honest, lying on the ground dumbfounded without saying a word. I don't need to clean up. I have to be taught a lesson to be honest. Rixiangchen put his hand on Kaguya Otsutsuki's head, and repaired her stuff that was suspected to be rabbit ears. After all, he broke it. Do you want to go out? I can take you out. Rixiangchen looked at Kaguya Otsutsuki. Hearing this, Kaguya Otsutsuki's eyes flashed with a flash of light, and there was a hint of yearning on his face. He had been here for more than 1,000 years. If it wasn't for sleeping to pass the time, Kaguya Otsutsuki would have gone crazy long ago. Hearing that Rixiangchen could take her out, Kaguya Otsutsuki was moved. Can you really take your concubine out? Are you questioning me? You dare to question me? I won't take you out. You stay here. Rixiangchen said dissatisfiedly. Concubine. Humphrey. Rixiangchen snorted coldly, and then left the sealed space. Kaguya Otsutsuki stared blankly at Rixiangchen who was leaving, and couldn't help shedding tears. Without such a bully, how could she have any doubts? What are you doing? Rixiangchen appeared again, looking at Kaguya Otsutsuki jokingly. Seeing Rixiangchen, Kaguya Otsutsuki hurriedly turned around, wiped her tears, her face flushed slightly, and her heart was filled with embarrassment. My concubine didn't cry, Kaguya Otsutsuki said solemnly to Rixiangchen after wiping away her tears. PFFT ha ha ha. Yes, you didn't cry, it was Kaguya Otsutsuki who was crying. Rixiangchen laughed loudly. Why are you back? Do you want to leave with your concubine? Kaguya Otsutsuki looked at Rixiangchen expectantly. No, I just forgot to take it. Rixiangchen reached out and pressed Kaguya Otsutsuki's forehead, and then used some Sarah's eyes to devour God. After a few seconds, Rixiangchen took his hand away, and then disappeared. Kaguya Otsutsuki was stunned the whole time, and it wasn't until Rick Xianchen left for a long time that he regained his senses, touched his forehead, and the tears remained unconsciously again. Wow woo woo, Kaguya Otsutsuki cried like a child, because she clearly felt that the Juguo Samsara writing wheel eye on her forehead was gone. It has completely disappeared. Shameless little thief, the reincarnation of the reincarnation who robbed the concubine. Woohoo. Kaguya Otsutsuki sat on the ground and cried. Thousands of years ago, she was created by herself to fight against the 6 brothers of the Otsutsuki trio who robbed Chaku and deprived her of her power. Now she was robbed of Samsara Shaker. How could she be so miserable? Originally, because Xianchen was the only person Kaguya Otsutsuki had seen for more than 1,000 years, and with Xianchen's attraction to the opposite sex, she also had a bit of a crush on Xianchen. Not to mention her good feelings now, she has listed Rick Xianchen as an enemy, and she can't wait to kill him. Don't blame me, I'm also doing it for your own good. The reincarnation writing wheel eye on your forehead is too ugly. Without it, it can improve your appearance. I will come to see you when I have time. When Rick Xianchen's voice reached the ears of the crying Otsutsuki Kaguya, the original crying Otsutsuki Kaguya immediately stood up and wiped away her tears. After scanning around, he didn't see Rick Xianchen's figure. Shameless little thief, hurry up and return the reincarnation writing wheel eye of your concubine. You robber, thief, and the traitor Otsutsuki, you are the same raccoon dog. Otsutsuki Huii yelled angrily. No matter how she shouted, no one responded to her, because Rick Xianchen had already left. As for the coming out of Kaguya Otsutsuki, Rick Xianchen has not thought about it for the time being. Let's let her out after training her first. Otherwise, with her character, it will not be turned upside down. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, where you can find advanced audiobooks that hasn't been uploaded on YouTube till now. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.